Has your car ever been broken into? Every day, over 8,000 cars are broken into. And I was tired of it happening on my street and in my carport. After the third time it happened and a neighbor's car was stolen, I went looking for solutions. All I found were old school car alarms, dash cams, and the club. Police told me, just leave your car empty and make sure you remember to lock the doors. There was no solution that met my needs. So I formed a team and we started building one. Then a couple months later, one of my friend's teenage daughters snuck out in the middle of the night and got a wreck in her car. And that made us start thinking about safety. The problem of vehicle crime is an epidemic. Every year, thieves steal over $5 billion worth of cars and steal over $1 billion worth of items from inside of cars, leaving millions of victims in the wake. Car safety is trickier to quantify because it involves human life, but the highest risk group is teens. And every year, thousands of teens die in crashes and hundreds of thousands are hospitalized. And I actually was one of those teens. 10 years ago, I was lucky to launch a company at TechCrunch Disrupt, and I'm honored and ecstatic to do it again. Introducing Keep Technologies. We've created a smart device platform for car safety and security that is going to change the way that millions of people protect their cars and families. Our first device is the Night, and I'll show you how it works. We're going to start with the installation by scanning the QR code on the bottom of it, and then by inserting it into the cup holder. You simply twist, and then when you reach the right point, you plug in the power over here, and I'm going to connect the power to the OBD. And now, when you twist it, it won't come out, and you're the only one who can remove it by pressing a button inside of your app. Next, I want to show you the whole platform in motion. So this 4Runner has a Night installed. There's no fob nearby, so it's in deterrent mode. So I'm going to peek in the windows. It flashed its LEDs and it made a chirping noise. You might not be able to hear it due to some of the filtering that's going on. Most thieves at this point would just go away, but I'll show you what happens if they don't. It's very, very loud. Okay. Okay, so the Night has gone off. At this point, it's taking video that it recorded, it's sending it to the cloud, and from the cloud, it's going to go to my mobile device. Now, if I had the professional monitoring service, they could take a look at the video for me. Let's say I was on vacation or at the gym. Move to demo, please. So here I see I have an event. I want to check out the event to make sure it was, it wasn't a false alarm before I notify the police. So here, and when I say false alarm, it's someone I know. It looks like it's me. I can see myself talking outside of the car, and we'll let it play a little bit longer where I now enter, okay, I definitively know that it's me. So I'm going to go ahead and silence the alarm. I want to show you some other things you can do with the Keep platform. You can manage who has access to your car and when. You can also see real-time whereabouts for family members. And you can review past trips to encourage safe driving behavior. Move back to presentation, please. The significance of the tech I just demoed is that now anyone with a cup holder in their car and a smartphone has access to car security and safety. And let me hit this here. Okay, there we go. We interviewed hundreds of potential customers as we were building this product. They told us, don't take away my cup holder, make it easy to install, and there can't be any false positives. It took us hundreds of iterations to actually solve these requests, and some of that work is on this table behind me. It resulted in a better final product and in intellectual property. Oh, we're good. It yielded 5 granted utility patents, and we have 16 pending patents. We just had an assistant behind the camera. For those 5 granted patents, they're in the areas of alarm functionality, engaging and disengaging of the actual mechanism, data transmission, and reducing false positives. Our team has experts in hardware, firmware, cloud, mobile, and mechanical. We've shipped hundreds of thousands of consumer technology devices, built and sold technology companies for tens of millions of dollars, managed billion-dollar P&Ls, and have a bunch of fancy Ivy League degrees collecting dust. Life 360 and Find My by Apple can help you manage your family, but they do nothing to protect your car. Ring needs two products to accomplish what we do with one, and both of theirs can be easily removed. Only Keep protects your car and family. Our business model is hardware-enabled SaaS with one-time revenue and recurring revenue. This is an enormous market waiting for disruption, like Ring with doorbells or Nest with thermostats. Last year, consumers in the United States spent over $400 billion on technology. Security systems in homes is a reasonable comp for us, and that stat's roughly 20%. For us to become a billion-dollar business, we only need 1% of vehicle owners in the United States. There are 270 million of them. Would you like to be the first to own a Night? You're gonna have to wait. Our go-to-market is first through influencers and then ads. Next, it's through wireless carriers. And lastly, big box and OEMs. We have been working on this for roughly 3 years, and we're very excited to announce that our wait list is open. We're going to be announcing the winners of 100 Founders Editions nights with free professional monitoring for life on November 1st. So please go to our website and sign up today. Join us on our mission to keep thieves away and keep your car and family safe. Thank you.
That was great. That was a great demo. You went over a little bit, but we'll allow it because you did everything live. So thank you so much. Riley, let's start with you.
A great demo. Really fun to see that. So appreciate the work you put into it. It seems like a lot of the companies that tried to do a third-party telematics device or dongle always ran into some problem getting to scale. And I wonder if they came at it from the wrong angle of attack. So many of these, data dongle companies over the last 5 years just wanted you to be kind of a quantified self person. And I think the interesting angle you're taking here is you're starting with security and the fear of getting your car broken into. But as you indicated, there's some interesting data things you can do later. So the question is this really about the vehicle data and other things you can do down the road using security and safety as kind of the attraction? And thanks very much.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. We see this as the killer entry point with security and safety, that there are parents concerned about teens, that someone's getting broken into in the last 5 minutes. So that's a reason for someone to buy. And then we'd like to open up our platform for third parties, whether it's insurance companies, and you can say, hey, now give me a safe driving discount. Or if you want to have fun with a home automation, we're very willing to open up the platform once we have a significant base that can be leveraged.
Thank you. Cami.
Thanks so much, David, for a really nice presentation. I am curious about whether you have any comps within the aftermarket automotive industry. So you talked about Ring and so on, other security players in homes. But within the automotive industry, I'm really curious if there's anyone you're thinking about as a comp.
That's a great question. There have been companies that have attempted with significant capital to enter the space. I think the challenge is that you have to have a blend of the right price point and value that you're producing for enough people to actually enter the space. So there have been a number of startups that have tried to enter this space. I mean, probably the best two comps would be Apple AirPlay and Android Auto. I mean, if the infotainment systems leave something lacking, the car manufacturers and OEMs need help from Apple and Google to run infotainment inside of them. So, I mean, I don't want to be too grandiose, but those are probably two of the best examples of someone who's significantly made an entrance in the space. And I view this more as potentially a new category and less of aftermarket, and more of a new way to access and have sort of soup to nuts visibility and protection of what's happening in your car that can serve and be leveraged for other things.
And don't worry, you can be grandiose.
Thanks.
Ben, let's go to you.
Yeah, can you walk us through the battery life associated with it? Because it looked like you need to be connected to the ODB port. And then also talk a little bit about how thieves may eventually defeat the system. Because if you are popular, then everyone will have it. And by definition, if everyone has it, then the thieves will know about it. and then therefore they should be wearing masks when they break in and just throw a towel over your camera immediately. So walk me through a little bit of your thinking on both of those things.
Yeah, those are great. I mean,
and I live in San Francisco. I live in San Francisco, by the way. So where every car is broken into multiple times a year, it feels like that. I know that there's a lot of debate about the actual metrics, but when you go, you can just see rows of cars broken into.
Yeah, so both of those are really, really important. As far as battery life, while we designed our device to be very low power draw, so the PIR sensors we rely on for a lot of the heavy lifting are microamps for their draw. Our microwave sensor is, call it 30 milliamps, like full on, and we only need that if we want to have deterrent mode activated. So on one hand, we're very sensitive to the IoT needs from energy consumption. The actual answer is we got a big honking car battery that we can leverage from ODB. And our battery is really just, so if a thief tries to pull out the power, we still have power, onboard power to send the video and still serve our purpose. So that's the part about battery. We took it really, really, really seriously. As far as, how the thieves defeat it, it's something we thought of from the very, very beginning. And that's why our installation process, you have to press a button in your app for what's called the blob to get disengaged so that you, the owner, can unanchor it. But, that problem you really reach if we're ubiquitous, because for a long time, thieves are going to be able to go from one car to another car that doesn't have this. And we view that we want to start with, we protect a certain neighborhood, and then the thieves go to a different neighborhood. Then we get that neighborhood protected. And what may happen is that the thieves say, I'm going to quit doing this because everyone has this thing, and I'm going to do something else. Maybe I'm going to go shoot some hoops or have some fun with my free time. So we view that there is, there are victims on both sides of this, that cars are so easy to break into that it's actually the gateway crime for a lot of career criminals who just start as teens because, hey, you just pull a door handle and hop in. And then it's also the entry point for a lot of violent crime where it starts with the car being stolen. So we think that if we get to the point where a thief needs to defeat ours, because every car has it and there's not an alternative car to go break into, that would be a great problem to have. And we have some future products on the roadmap. So for instance, Shaquille O'Neal could rip out the entire center console. That's what he told us when we told him about the night. And he recommended that we look at some type of an implementation that can mount to the windshield. And so we've designed a mirror version called Rear View that would need professional installation, but it solves the question of like, what do you do if you are, a government employee or official who wants the ultimate protection? And that's sort of what we do. But we're going to have that coming down the line.
David, we're out of time, so thank you for that. But before we go, I want to know what the rest of the saying is above your whiteboard. It says right now, I can see no store does.
It says no stock does not matter. And that means as we shift from the prototype, we're trying to get parts very quickly, to the production version, we are using a different framework for decision making. And if, right now we have the NJR 4166K microwave, and we have that because it's the best, not just because it shows availability on DigiKey. So I wrote that one day to try to reinforce that we are now, a couple months back, we are now entering a new paradigm where we're focused on production and not speed for testing functionality. So sorry, I should have erased that.
It's okay. I was very curious. Thank you so much, David. Best of luck.
Thanks.